welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have Nina here from Canada.
Hi.
I brought her back because we have some questions about what's going on in Canada. But first, we want to address, our sympathies and our heartfelt, condolences to everybody who has lost everything in California in the fires, and hoping that it gets under contained and all that stuff. So yeah, you were kind of wanting to say a few things about Canada or for California.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. Just it's the devastation. And I mean, we could go into the people, the houses, the structures, the businesses, but it's the historical part of it. It's the history of it. It's the community of it. And it's not a small, contained one space. It's a whole like state that's on fire. And to witness Donald Trump being Donald Trump during this time is really underwhelming. I can't believe he doesn't have the empathy and sympathy to put it out, to be kind to people, regardless of whatever political party they're part of. And he's just twisting it for his own political gain. You see Fox News and them like basically twisting it for their political gain, and hearing people, arson started, and people think, on TikTok and everything, saying, good for this person that their house burnt down because they were a Democrat or they were woke or what. It is just to see the best and the worst of humanity right there on your television screen, and you can't get away from it. It's 24/7 there.
It is. It
You know, and
truly is.
heartbreaking, and it's not even over yet. They have to wait for these winds to see what's going to happen over the next 48, 72 hours, what have you. People just being displaced. I mean, the recovery is going to be in the billions,
Yeah.
billions.
I
You know,
agree. And the thing I have noticed about it is this. I said one of the reasons why Trump and the right flank keep on making excuses is because they don't have any empathy for them. And they
yeah,
didn't have any empathy for them from the get-go, so they have to make up all of these excuses to give them the right to not care.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what they're doing. And they're hoping to convince everybody else not to care.
yeah.
And all it does is it's like these emotions of everybody losing, and then the emotions of the people that are literally at ground zero watching, the devastation, and then to have somebody tell you that you deserve it.
And it's not even to be believed. It's not fit. It's just not fit.
No.
It's
So
pretty
yeah,
hard. It's pretty
it is.
harsh. God bless them, and just
Well, they
animals, and
Oh, I know. The horses, we watch the horses try to get out. Oh,
just
it's I can't watch too much of the
yeah,
footage because I just get welled up. There's
yeah,
nothing I can do sitting in my basement here in Colorado, to be honest. I
no,
can't, I'm not, I would be there rescuing animals as much as I possibly could. I'd probably
yeah,
die in the fire, to be honest, because I'd be jumping in to get them. Uh,
yeah.
but it is absolutely devastating, and there is the insurance people. I hear that they kind of had an intuition or fell or something like that, and they started dropping
Yeah,
the insurance. And insurance people are, I have no compassion for them, but they don't have any money anymore because of all of the disasters that are happening. I mean, between the hurricane, because apparently if California deserved wildfires, that natural disaster, apparently everybody from the hurricane
yeah,
be sinning enough for hurricanes targeting them. I don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The right flank is just crazy, but
yeah.
these insurance companies do not have any more money.
That that's the scary part. And we're talking about, it's a wealthy area that's gone down. So one house could have millions and millions worth of pictures and ornaments and different items and stuff. So, you know what I mean? It hit.
There's two aspects, Kellen. The rich people have other houses somewhere to go.
Yes.
The ones that do not are just like SOL.
Well, the mom and pop shops that may not
Yes.
be able to be brought back up if you're not going to get insurance money. I mean, there has to be some sort of national relief, But is that going to be up to Joe Biden or is that going to be up to Trump? I mean,
Well,
that,
from what I understand, Biden already signed a thing for them to get the money.
yeah,
What what Trump and his little sycophants is going to do is sign something that they don't get anymore. That's what the deal is. But Biden's already provided everything for them. Um, it's terrible. It
yeah,
really
it is. It's really hard. It's just
is.
hard.
It is.
God bless them.
There's three fires. Two of them are already like 80 and 90% contained. It's the big one, the one that's really devastating. It's only 11% as of like 9 o'clock this morning was the last time I checked. So
Yeah,
hopefully they're getting a more
containment and stuff.
yeah, because the Mexican firefighters have come and the
Canada's there.
Canada came. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Donald Trump didn't come and help, but
No, but Canada was there. Canada's
yep,
there,
sure did. So they
right?
they had a lot of that. So our sympathy goes out. So we kind of come on, and I have asked you to come on. Come on, Panda always has to make a show.
Hi,
He says, "Hi, what you doing?"
baby.
This is my Pandalina, my panda
She's
bear.
gorgeous.
She just came.
Hello.
She just came back from the spa yesterday.
I
So
can hear Sadie scratching at the door now because she can hear me being nice to somebody.
yeah,
I
I hear a dog.
hear a dog. I hear Mama talking.
Yeah.
So
So, okay, so we have a few questions. What's going on with Justin Trudeau? Give us the scoop in the story of what happened. Why did he step down? That was just shocking to us.
oh, it wasn't shocking to us.
Right.
We this has been in the making for a long time, long before Trump ever had a conversation with him. We have our own problems and our own unique system that happens over here in Canada. Trump's been in power for such a long time. It was time for a change. We have taxes that have been put on us that
Oh, you're
people.
talking about Justin Trudeau. You said Trump.
Oh, Trudeau.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, we're talking about Trump. Trudeau.
Yeah.
Um, Justin over here is very like you either love him or you hate him. There's no in between because the reality is that if there is that in between, he did the best that he could. He came and he did what he was supposed to do. He overstayed his welcome. He made some mistakes, and now he's kind of made them on the world stage, and that's for him to deal with his own life. Because don't worry about him. He's fine. He's got millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's fine. He will land on his feet. He will find a job. He will be fine. He's okay. Um, we as Canadians do take serious what Trump is saying, even though we know that it's a joke, sort of. We know that it's his way of saying, look over here while all of this is happening over here because he was thinking that the papers with oh God, the guy, the gray haired guy,
What are we talking about? The papers with what?
um, with Trump. Trump was waiting. Trump, they thought by now that, oh God, what's his name? The head guy that was going to take him down to have all the documents on him.
Are you talking about Smith, Jack Smith?
Yes, Jack Smith.
Okay.
Jack Smith's papers were supposed to be coming out at this time. So I think Trump and them were Trump was kind of rallying to trying to do this, meaning it because he means it. The
Oh yeah,
people
we
around
believe he
him,
means it. We
he
believe,
means it. The
yeah,
people around him don't believe it, but he
yeah.
believes it,
He,
and he can use that to distract. And that's more or less what I think he was doing. But now he's gotten some traction on it, and people are talking about it as though it's something real.
yeah.
And that's the part that blows my mind. Like we were literally just dealing with Ukraine for how long now? For how many years? Supporting them in the war, supporting them in keeping their land, and we're not even in the first 15 days of January, and he's talking about taking Canada, and he doesn't want Mexico, but he'll take the canal, and he's going to take Greenland. Like,
Oh, he's talked about taking. He's
imagine,
talked about taking Mexico too. He's talked about taking all of that. Now, what do the people think about him saying that. I mean, we kind of at this point, because of experiencing him for so dang long, that we can't take him serious.
Yeah,
He would do something stupid.
we're taking it serious. Unfortunately, we're in a little bit of a bind right now because our prime minister did step down. He had no other choice. He didn't have the strength of his government behind him. His Freeland had dropped out of the race, and she's the finance minister. He was they were dropping. There was no he was just
So who do you
you
think is going to
know
come into power? Because we're worried that it's going to be a conservative like Trump.
it's going to be a conservative like Trump.
So
Well,
that would even
not like Trump.
strengthen.
I shouldn't say that. It's not going to be like Trump. Not like Trump, but definitely right leaning and much more conservative than what we have been. So I would be really, really surprised if in the next few months they found somebody to ride the wave of Trudeau and come back into power. I think people are looking for a change. I think it's almost guaranteed that you're going to see it from St. John's, Newfoundland, going all the way across Canada. You're going to see a conservative wave. I think the question is more, are we going to see a mandate of a full force, or are they going to have a good opposition? Because without a good opposition, you're given a full mandate, like Trump has the House and the Senate. If we do that for whoever the next prime minister is, we could be putting ourselves in a lot of trouble because you give anybody absolute power corrupts absolutely, kind of thing, right? So
That's the
we're
problem, and that's what we're thinking down here is if you guys get somebody conservative, and then Trump is conservative, and then he's talking about taking it over, that means that means serious stuff to us. Like
there's nobody
we're really worried about that.
there's nobody that I'm aware of. Now that doesn't mean anything because I've been kind of cocooned for a number of weeks. There's nobody that I'm aware of that's in the government that has ever stated that they would want to become part of the United States. Not one that I can think of. The conversation, most people are like, oh, this is just Donald Trump blowing gas and it's just more of an annoyance. The premiers have gotten together. That's the heads of each province, which is the same as heads of each state, got together and kind of said, okay, we don't have the prime minister, we don't have the federal government situated, so we better make a plan among us to make sure we support each other in the provinces. So there's work being done, whether it's on the provincial level or on the federal level, to kind of deal with this problem. The reality is that, no offense, we love America. We love American spirit. We love the American people. We love the American people being our partners. We were, as soon as the fire started, our people that had all that experience from Calgary and from Jasper, they were down there, shoulder to shoulder with the Americans. We love Americans, but we're Canadian. We have our own identity. It might not be known because, you know what I mean? We know a lot about the States because for every one person in the state, for every one Canadian, there's 10 or 12 Americans. So our population is so small, but our land is even bigger than the United States.
Right.
So, like when they talk about the 51st state, it's like, oh my God, you're looking at, different climates that go across the country. You're looking at different resources that go across the country. You're looking at Quebec, who's trying to desperately hold on to their French language. And United States is not going to be like, oh, sure, let's all speak French now.
Oh,
It's
I
not.
agree. I agree. They would not agree to coming to be joining America. They would lose. You would lose all of your health care.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
just it's not even
ridiculous.
sensible. It's not.
But what if Trump took it? That's what we're worried about.
He
Could
would have
he?
he would have to take it with force, and I hope and I pray that the world would look at this as because there's no way if Putin all of a sudden said he wanted to take something, the world would just be aghast. And I think it says something about Donald Trump that the world is kind of like, yeah,
Well,
okay,
he's following Putin. Putin wants Ukraine,
of course.
and so
And
he's
then
going
you're
to
going to
make
see
an excuse. Say,
they're go
yeah,
ahead.
make an excuse as to the reason why. it stops like that. Oh, come on. As
Yeah,
it make an excuse is the reason why Canada needs to be annexed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Just like Putin did to Ukraine. That's what I mean. These are the things that we as Americans worry about. Now we
We're
want
worried
the
about
reverse. We want you to take us over so that we can be Canadian. All
it.
right. You just kind of move on down into the United States and we will join you.
Oh, if it was that easy.
It would be
Um,
fun.
like I do think there's conversations that need to be had. I've lived right across Canada, so I kind of got an interesting view because I kind of know
Yeah.
what it's like to live in different parts of the country. So I kind of get where people are coming from. And I do think there's a conversation that could be had about the borders. We have the longest free open border. That doesn't mean that there's not a discussion that should be held about it. That doesn't mean that there's not things that are going wrong or that need to be fixed or that, and if we work together, like we could just make this Western wall of amazement that would floor Russia and floor the rest of the world. That does not
Not with
mean
Trump.
it has to become part of the United States. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I love the United States, but we
No, no,
are Canadian. Like we
no,
have,
no. We don't want you to come down here and be abused. No, no, no.
you know,
You know what I mean? If we don't want Canada to be a part of the United States. We would want the United States to be a part of Canada. Okay,
well,
that's our idea.
yeah. But I mean, like, there's a lot of good that can be done there. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about and improve. There's not that there's because I think what gets lost is that we're ever getting into this zone of you're either left or you're right. You're not allowed to be center. You're not allowed to have an opinion that's
Yeah,
different. And this goes for both sides. That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just the Republican, it's the Democratic side as well. If you have an opinion or you want to like say, well, I can see it up to a point. Well, no, you can't see it to a point. You've got to see it the whole way or it's no way. And
Oh
I
yeah, the polarized has happened. It is
yeah,
out. The wedge is so huge, and I don't know why my thing keeps on stopping, but it'll get over itself.
yeah,
Um, the wedge is so much and it's so big. They've gotten it to everybody's afraid to
yes,
agree with the other side
yep,
because you get punished.
yes,
So there's nobody speaking out about being in the middle and agreeing. I used to literally before Trump, before all of this, I used to see conservative points, I used to see Democratic points, and I used to go, yeah,
yeah,
sometimes they each make sense. I don't agree with that or that or that. But
exactly.
Trump has literally rearranged, made the Republicans so different and their ideas so different that we cannot see eye to eye and almost anything that they do at this point. If it was normal, yeah, if we were back to the normal days, but this is Trump. Trump is going towards, you know, um, he wants, he wants to control,
Expand.
he wants communism and stuff like that. And the farther he goes into trying to rule as a king, the
Mhm.
less we have in common with him,
Yeah.
the Republicans, and they just kind of go with him. No matter how far off into the ditch he goes, they go up. I guess we're moving again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're not coming back.
Now, I don't know if this will give you any kind of solace or whatever, but I did do a reading on Donald Trump, and I definitely 100% see something is coming his way that's going to stop him in his tracks. I know he gets away with everything. I know right now he has a mandate to do as he pleases, but there is something in the near future that's going to halt him. It's going to stop him. Even if we are here and we're feeling um, the pressure of Donald Trump, that we feel the pressure of, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. This is something that, when it comes to Canada or whatever Donald Trump spews, whatever it is, there's there is a stopgap, even though we can't necessarily see it. Because right now, it just feels like he has the support, but it's not him who has the support. I really don't think it's him as a person. I think it's the conservative side has the support. Like, the pendulum always swings, and I think that's part of it. I think Donald Trump, because even those who support Donald Trump, they still kind of go, well, you got to kind of let Donald Trump be Donald Trump. It's like there's this allowance for his crazy because they want conservatism in there regardless. But that tells you a lot about how the conservatives must be if they're letting Donald Trump be their hero, be their leader. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. It's like no matter how many times I try to make sense of it in my head, it always comes back to but.
Yeah, being conservative in this country does not mean you have a moral compass. It doesn't mean that you believe in any sort of boundaries of right and wrong, because they have already blatantly just blew past any of that. If it was about morality, they would probably have, a lot more people, all right. If you want to be moral, fine. If you want to, uphold the law, okay, let's get on board with that. But that's not it. We're literally going to swear in a convicted felon that has
Yeah.
been convicted of sexual assault, and he's been adjudicated for fraud, uh, liar, cheater. I mean, we have so much evidence. We're literally going to place that guy as our leader,
Uh,
our example of the
yeah.
United States, example of what the conservative movement is. Therefore, we are worried that since he's representing that conservative, around the world are the other conservatives going, this is the way we should do it because he got power. This is how we're going to get power.
And you see that it's happening. Everybody talks about their Trump in Australia or the Trump in Canada or the Trump, but it's versions of Trump. It's not Trump. He's exclusively his own unique person. It's just that now people feel emboldened. They feel brazen enough to say what's on their mind, to kind of be more anti woke. Because I think that, we kind of went down this road that just went too far.
Yeah.
And people want to stop at different points, and they didn't have the guts to stop. And all of a sudden, you got somebody, like Donald Trump, who anything beyond him, anything before him is acceptable. And that's where people kind of lined up behind him. Because I think there needed to be this swing, this change. And it had to be Donald Trump to bring it in. Why? I don't know. I can't say it. It's like, I guess, at why ask why when it comes to Hitler, or why ask why when it comes to fill in the blank, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Scary. I mean, we're nervous, but we're prepared and we're getting ready. And there's going to be tariffs. There's going to be. I don't see Donald Trump. Let's just do a quick little. I'm just going to do a pull a card. Um, I can't imagine Donald Trump putting the military against Canada, and I can't see the military lining up and going against Canada. It's not real. Is this happening? Are
Yeah,
we having this conversation?
yeah, yeah, we are having this conversation. And we don't know either. We don't know. I can't sit here and go, our army is never going to fall behind him. And then we have, what was that Colonel, what's his face that was right behind him? Colonel, oh gosh, I can't remember names either. Um,
I haven't been. I swear I've been awful. I've
he
been awful.
pardoned him. He pardoned the colonel,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that guy, the long one that looked like Voldemort, tall, long, tall one.
Okay.
Anywho, I'll think of it later. Anywho, so I don't know. I mean, he literally says he wants to get rid of all the generals that spoke up against. He already said that. So everything is pointing towards communism. They're trying to set up 800 numbers for everybody to tattle on their neighbor if they're immigrants. So they're already trying to set up a tattling system.
And you know what? They did that during COVID.
Yep.
They set that up and tested that system before this ever happened this time around, because they did the exact same thing with COVID. They had people calling in on their neighbors to say, hey, there's more than four people in that house or
Yeah.
whatever, you know?
They're trying to set up a tattling system. North Korea has a tattling system. That's the reason why everybody's so sick and tired. They can't say what they want. They can't do what they want because they know that somebody's watching them and they know that there's a tattling system. If you don't tattle and they find out, they're both in trouble. And that's what they're trying to do here in every little small facets of that. They right now, they just like they did with abortion in Texas. They had an 800 number. If you know somebody is trying to get an abortion or to go out of the state, well, we slammed it down because we called so many people and we told them that Donald Trump's trying to get an abortion.
Yeah.
We just obliterated that. And I hope that our people still keep to that kind of a thing and we
I
keep on
really didn't
pushing
notice that.
back. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
I
bad.
really didn't. I really, I thought it was more, flights of fancy for Donald Trump that he's
No.
just fast and it's sort of like be cautious, but not really, I didn't, I just,
No, there's already a thing. I forget which state, and somebody in the comments will remember. There's a state that already put forth a thing for marriage to only be through a man or a woman, and they're trying to remove gay marriages in that state. So that's how it starts every time in this country
yep,
because it gets all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court upholds it, and all of a sudden it's a law of the land. That's how they do it. That's how
that's
they've
scary.
been doing it. Yeah, just like the talk about, I think this is the reason why Trump wants all of Canada so that he can lock down the borders, just like Kim Jong-un did. You see, they gave the North Korea a utopia idea that we're going to be in here, we're the superior race, we're going to put up a border so nobody can bother us. And what happened? They locked their people in as prisoners, and that's the idea that keeps on coming to me is the reason why they want to put that border up so much is because they want to keep us in, not let anybody, not let people in. They're trying to keep us prisoners.
Yeah.
And it's all very, very real. The little small, little tiny, little microaggressions that are happening all over the country. It just makes it
Wow.
bad.
Wow.
Yeah, we envy you guys.
Well, I
We
don't
could
know.
all, if we could all move, we all would.
That's just so sad though.
It is very.
I mean, because I mean, obviously, we're in a position where we feel exposed because our prime minister just stepped down.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of time to get ourselves situated, and I don't think we're going to be given that time. I think we're just going to be bombarded, same as we are now. But I think I forgot my point.
Well, while you're thinking of your point, the reason why we're worried about you guys getting a conservative prime minister or whatever you guys call them
Prime minister, yeah,
is because Trump can convince a prime minister, I will give you the moon if you just give me this.
yeah.
That's what we're
Even
worried about
our
is
conservative
the
party,
control.
even our conservative party has said no, we would not become part of America. We would
I
work with
hope so.
do the tariff. No, Canada, if anything, this has brought Canadians together to look for the Canadianism. I think some of the younger kids, they're having conversations because to them, there's no borders. It's a computerized world. We're all one world, the World Wide Web. Like I think for younger people, if you ask kids of school age, unless they're repeating what their parents are saying,
Yeah.
that they kind of have this sort of like, yeah, why not? Why not become part of America? They have low taxes. They have all this, you know what I mean? Not realizing that there's so much more to it than, you know, just low taxes.
Yeah. Well, you guys have free healthcare. That's the reason why you guys have high taxes. I mean,
Exactly.
it makes
That's
so
why
much
that's why
sense.
you
Nobody
gotta,
is in debt in Canada because of
yeah,
healthcare.
no, no.
I'd rather pay high taxes and get free healthcare any day. Okay, what was your
Well,
reading?
that's what I was about to say. That's
Yeah.
why most Canadians say, well, we're willing to pay the higher taxes for everybody to get health care,
Yeah.
but we're used to it too. Like, so anyhow. Um, God darn it. It does look like it's a fight. It's going to be a theme that's not going to just go away. This is something he's going to talk about. It's something that he's going to actually push. It's something that we're actually going to have in the news and we're going to be talking about it. But like I said, I got the sun, and for some reason, I just see China having some kind of push here. It's like it might give them um, it might give them the allowance to do what they want to do, to take over Taiwan, to, even though they have Hong Kong, but, things are always kind of questionable there because it could start up again, especially if China gets emboldened because of the US to say what they can do it, and then Putin and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying China brought up. I got the Two of Swords here. I still feel as though something's coming up for Donald Trump. I don't know if it's going to be a health issue that's going to take him down for a little bit. I don't know, but it's something traumatic, and it's going to be a big deal, and it's going to happen to him, and it's going to kind of go, oh, okay, it's going to stop everything as it's going, if that makes sense.
It does. We've been getting kind of the same thing that he won't be, there's going to be a major issue, uh, and a holdback. The reason why he wasn't full on tyrant the first time is because he hit too many roadblocks.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what I'm thinking that maybe they'll do that.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, my cards are literally the candles in the dark,
yeah,
all the dark meetings in the moon, all the dark meetings, all the dark thinking. But you know, I I do these videos and like Sheila's just all doom and gloom, but I'm like, you guys gotta I
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It was
fight
like,
people. They can't do anything about people who say no.
yeah. And with California, with everything happening in California, I think that's going to really bring into focus for Donald Trump. It's going to bring into focus, you know, what his plans going forward are going to be. I think it has to turn again. It has to come back a bit to more sensibility and more common sense, right? There has to be. It just feels like we've been swinging this far for too long now. It just feels it doesn't it, don't you feel like we didn't we
You've
do
been
our
there too
time?
long.
We've done our time with Donald Trump. We've
Yep,
done that.
yep. I agree. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's hard. But Canada still loves the US. Canada will still be there for the US. If California needs us, we will be there. If any part of the States needs us to be there, we will be there. I think most Canadians realize that Trump is this oddity that happened. And unfortunately, you guys brought him back in again. We don't know what to say about that. We just shake our heads and go like this because, what can we do? Um, but I do believe that we'll hold on and hold true to the friendship, regardless of whatever happens between now and then of Donald Trump, because I don't think he's going to get the full 4 years in. I don't. I think very strong.
I have to believe that or else I just go crazy.
Well, not to wish him any bad luck or anything, but I do think his safety's in jeopardy. I think he's going. I get it. It's just it's unbelievable what we're talking about. It's just unbelievable.
I
It
know.
really is. It's sad. It's really sad.
I
I
agree.
can't believe we're here in 2025 and this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, we should be talking, we should talk about how wonderful everything is. Everything is gonna, we're gonna we're gonna love each other. Those are the things that we should be talking
Yeah,
about. Not trying to survive somebody who wants to, smash us and restrain us and not
yeah,
give us our freedoms. I mean, it's just
scary.
buzz.
But we will get through it together. We will all support each other. We'll be there for each other. If I see you turning Trumpish, I'll tell you. If all of a sudden you start changing, I'll tell you.
That's impossible.
Don't change. Don't change.
I have empathy. You can't remove empathy without torture. And no, I don't plan on being tortured. So
Well, I truly, as that, I do think we're going to be got in for some hard times in the States. And like I said, it's the year of the humanitarian. There has to be reasons for there to be humanitarians. And what a walloping way to start January. We're not even halfway through the month, and I feel like we've already had a full year's
I know.
experience. You
I
know,
know. It's like, hasn't it already been a year?
it is. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Uh,
Yeah,
anyways, all right. Well, thank you so much for getting on for I guess we can call this one the podcast.
yeah, yes. Sometimes you
All
just need to talk things out with friends.
right. Yeah. All right.
All
Thanks.
right, Johns. Take care.